Hello, and welcome to the Hail Mary Joe 2 TD Scorer Show. I'm Jose, I'm your host, and welcome to week 4 of Sunday and Monday's game. So just a quick review for Thursday. There were no 2 TD scorers in that game between the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers, but there was a 3 TD score in David Montgomery. That's it. So we're off to ticket number 1 this week. So I have 5 players. I'm doing it all over again the same way that I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks. I'm going to pick 5 players for 3 tickets, 50 cents on the 1s, 50 cents on the 2s, 50 cents on the 3s, not playing the 4s, not playing the 5s. And remember, this is what I do. So this is not financial advice. I'm not authorized to give you that, but I can tell you what I'm going to do this week. And this is what I'm going to do. Now remember, if you do gamble, gamble responsibly, so do not gamble what you can't afford to lose. That's the golden rule. And so we're off to ticket number 1. Ticket number 1, player number 1. We have the early game. Can't wait to watch it in cartoon or whatever, the animated version that they're doing it from Andy's room, is going to be Tank Bisbee from Jacksonville for 2 TDs at 29 to 1. So he has 2 TDs and he is the goal line back for Jacksonville. It's a toss-up between him and Ernest Johnson, but I prefer Bigsby. Their snap counts have been fluctuating, but I think Bigsby's the big boy that can do the goal line stuff and get him in for 2. So all of a sudden, to player number 2 on ticket number 1, we have Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati, 2 TDs at 19 to 1. So it's a toss-up between Higgins and Boyd, and the reasoning why I took Boyd over Higgins is he has a catch rate as compared to Higgins from 65% for Boyd compared to 35.7% for Higgins. He was 3 for 3 last week. You can't beat that. I mean, it's just he's just the better option to secure that catch. So, player number 3 on ticket number 1. Hope I say his name right. Puka Nacua. Yes, I'm going to him again. I know Antwell had the big game last week, but that's why I'm not touching Antwell this week. So, for the LA Rams, Puka has 2 touchdowns at 9.5 to 1. So he has a 40.5% target share. He's 30 for 42, 388 yards, and 0 TDs. It's about time this guy gets rewarded. So that's why I'm picking him. So the 4th player on ticket number 1 is questionable, but I think that he's going to play. If I'm wrong, it becomes a push, and if he does, he's still going to get some goal line chances, and that's Miles Sanders for Carolina, 2 TDs at 9 to 1. He's over 60% of the snaps, and he's facing Minnesota with the 27th run defense. Run. That's what they're going to do. So the 5th player on ticket number 1 is going to be Mike Evans from Tampa Bay, 2 TDs at 17 to 1. Really hard to pass up a 17 to 1 for wide receiver 1 when a first option for the quarterback. And it's just from that alone. Last week, New Orleans in the 4th quarter fell apart. I can't trust them with Bridgewater and number 7. I just don't trust their QBs without Derek Carr. So I'm going with Mike Evans. If Green Bay could pass the ball on him like the way they did between the PIs and the completions, I can see Mike Evans having a really big game. So now we're off to ticket number 2. So ticket number 2, player number 1, we have David Njoku for Cleveland, 2 TDs at 51 to 1. Yeah, they're facing the best run defense or second best run defense in the league, so they're going to have to pass the ball if they need to. A lot of attention's going to be on Amari Cooper, and it's going to free up David Njoku. And you know what? I've looked at his stats, and over his career, he's received over 50% of TDs against teams in his own division. So, you know what? I'm sticking with him. I like that, and that's why he's player number 1 on ticket number 2. Now, player number 2 on ticket number 1 is going to be Marvin Mims from Denver, 2 TD at 36 to 1. He's the 8th best receiving grade and leads all receivers in YPRR, that's yards per route run. Chicago has the 7th highest passer rating against them. So you know what? Marvin Mims is going to be able to blow the top off. I'm expecting Wilson to have a much better game. And you know what? He's going to have some big throws, some big catches, and hopefully 2 TDs. So then we go on to player number 3 for ticket number 2, and we have Tank Dell for Houston. Yes, 2 TDs at 36-1. This year he's 15 for 21 at 173 yards and 2 TDs. Last game he led the team in receptions, receiving yards, and targets. I'm hoping that trend continues, right? And I don't trust the Steelers offense to pick a player on that team. So we're off to player number 4 on ticket number 2. I have Gerald Everett from the LA Chargers, 2 TDs at 21-1. Sorry for the fly. And so we have no Mike Williams, which means there's going to be an extra 10 targets available to the receivers. Now, between him and Joshua Palmer, he has a much better catch rate. He was 6 for 6 for 30 yards last week. He's got the 3rd most targets on the team, so that's behind Keenan Allen, number 1, Mike Williams, number 2. So Gerald Everett is actually number 3, and he has a much higher catch rate than Josh Palmer. So, that's the reasoning. And he didn't drop a ball last week. I'm hoping he doesn't drop a ball this week. So now we're off to player number 5 on ticket number 2. And this one is for 1 TD. Yes, 1 TD. I have Kyle Jukuzik. Oh, sorry if I made a mistake on the name. We'll call him the Juice, okay? So he's for San Francisco, 1 TD, paying 7.5-1. The RB2, Elijah Mitchell is questionable. So you know what? I'm hoping that he's going to get a few opportunities. He doesn't carry the ball a whole lot, but he does once in a while. It's a surprise. All the attention's going to be onto Christian McCaffrey. So you know what? If they're going to pay that much attention to him, you can slip the Juice the ball. He gets in easy winner. So he gets between 1 and 4 touchdowns a year. I mean, he's not a big TD producer. That's why I only have him for 1, and that's why this week could be it. So that's all for ticket number 2. David Njoku for Cleveland for 2. Marvin Mims for Denver for 2. We have Tank Dell for Houston for 2. We have Gerald Everett for Chargers for 2. And we have the Juice, or Kyle Jukuzik, for 1 TD. So now we're off to ticket number 3. So for ticket number 3, I have Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo, 2 TDs at 23-1. Dawson Knox has a back problem. He's had on the injury report for it. So with that, I'm taking him. Stephon Diggs has been the Dolphin killer ever since he's been there in Buffalo. He's just killed them, ripped them apart. He could do it, but I think with the coach that they have, they're going to be paying particular close attention to him. The other receivers that they have, I don't really trust. They're not as good, and I'm hoping that Dalton comes through for us. So, he's getting the looks. Dalton's 11 for 12 for 72 yards. You can't beat that. You got to take a chance on that. So the player number 2 on ticket number 3, we have Dallas Goedert for Philly. 2 TDs at 19-1. He's got a 25.7% of the first reads and pass options. His target share is 19%. So from that, he's got 0 TDs this year. It's about time he starts scoring, and I think this is the week. So player number 3 on ticket number 3 is going to be Jake Ferguson for Dallas, 2 TDs at 23-1. Now, he's got the most red zone targets. Dak's been the shits in red zone, so it's time that he improves, and he's going to be, he needs to change that. So, I can assure you that, yes, they'll be run first, but they're also going to be pass so that Dak can get that big goose egg off his back. So, now we're off to player number 4, ticket number 3, and I have Breece Hall. So with Breece Hall, I'm taking him for 2 TDs for the Jets at 21-1. He played a season high of 48% of his snaps last week. From his ACL, he's been projected to be full go between week 4 and week 5. This is week 4. I'm taking a chance on them. The Jets can't throw the ball. Give the ball to your best running back and let him do the work. That's it. Now, the 5th guy on ticket number 3 could be a surprise for a lot of people, but his name is Zach Charbonnet. He's for Seattle, 2 TDs at 26-1. His snaps increased in every week, and last week he played 44% of the offensive snaps and was much more effective than Kenneth Walker III. That alone is the reason why I'm picking them. So you know what? I hope you enjoy the games this week. Oh, sorry, let's just review ticket number 3. Dalton Kincaid for 2 for Buffalo. Dallas Goedert for 2 for Philly. We have Jake Ferguson for Dallas for 2. We have Breece Hall for the Jets for 2. And we have Zach Charbonnet for Seattle for 2. So please enjoy the games. Gamble responsibly. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is strictly what I'm doing. Please enjoy the games. Have fun. And we'll see you probably Thursday. All the best.